we're multitasking here, so we're continuing our deep breaths. And now we're kind of imagining that the top of our skull has opened up. Like a jar of peanut butter. We twist it off the top and it's open and it's accepting energy. It's accepting the energy from the sun and the light, and it's coming in to the top of our heads. And with that information, we can really just allow the back of the eyes to release, the back of the ears, let them drop down, create space. Create space where you thought there might not be space, right? So if we actually physically touch the space behind our ears, you can pull it down a little, massage a bit, and you can feel that there is space to release, there's space to drop. You can travel behind the head where the skull attaches to the top of the neck. And just think about creating space there and releasing. Behind the eye sockets. Allow the eyes to release just as you would let the jaw release, right? Create space. Allow gravity to just let our eyes sink down. And now the jaw. One of the most popular places that people hold tension. If you want, you can go ahead and use your actual hands to kind of massage. Or just create space, release the tension all the way back by the ear to where the jaw begins, right? So sometimes we think that the jaw is around our chin area, and it is, but it widens all the way back to where our ears are. So we really just want to think about space. If you want to, you can bring the tongue to the roof of the mouth. It helps create space. You're just gently resting the tongue to the top of the gums inside the mouth. So you have this soft jaw kind of vibe going on. And as I'm here in a wide second, I'm moving my hips a little, right? Just creating a flow. If you want to jiggle, you can jiggle. Jiggle away the tenderness, the soreness if you have any, or just allow the blood to flow in the hips by doing mini circles, figure eights. Just really awaken the hips. And as we're doing that gently, we're going to release tension in our shoulders, specifically right where the clavicle attaches to our shoulder. We're going to open up as if a beam of sun is kind of shooting out in the front of us, towards the front of us. Allow the belly to be loose. And remember, we're maintaining our release in all these parts that we've talked about, but we're also maintaining our deep breaths. So loose belly, loose eyes, loose ears, loose jaw. Loose chest, loose hips. You can take this time to bring your head to the right, but bring your ear to the shoulder. So you're not turning your head to the right, you're actually bringing the ear closer to the shoulder. So you're getting this stretch on the left side of your shoulder. Just allow gravity to stretch you. Don't tense up. Just allow the head to fall to the right. Keep and maintain the space. Awesome. You should feel a little stretch on the left side. And we'll change over to the other side. Loose belly, loose hips. Excellent. Now we can roll the head down so the chin is kind of close to the chest. And again, just allow gravity to bring the head and neck down. Don't try to physically force it or muscularly force it. Just allow the head to drop. Find your posture. Excellent. And last one is going back towards the sky. So this one's a little more gentle, but you're going to bring the head backwards, the forehead towards the sky. Definitely find our breath here. Find the continued release in our shoulders, bellies, necks, mouths, ears. Excellent. And come back to a neutral place. We're going to allow the sensation of release to drop into our bellies, continue throughout the hips, which we've kind of been moving around a bit just to create some blood flow. Awesome. And now we're just going to think about releasing the tension in our legs. So we'll keep the legs wide, but maybe use your hands to kind of awaken the quad, awaken your hamstrings, awaken your butt. Massage the knee. Allow your knee to find places that it can rest with some space without the sense of jamminess on both legs. We're kind of giving ourselves a massage on our legs, on our quads, on our IT bands to the side, connecting it to our knees, behind the knees into the hamstring. Notice if anything that you massage or touch, you get a sensation somewhere else. So sometimes when I massage my legs, I feel like a little tingling in my shoulder, or just notice those connections with your body. Or like when I massage my knees, I feel this sense of connection to the shins. So we can go down to the shins and massage our shin muscle a little. Just give it some TLC, tender love and care. Awaken the fascia of the skin. Go down to the top of the feet. Just kind of physically create space between your toes, underneath the arches. Get the heels. You don't want to forget any part of your anatomy. If you haven't done the other side, please do. The shins, the calves, just kind of awaken them, give them some love. Massage the tops of your feet. Create space there in between the toes, underneath the arches, underneath the metatarsal if you need the heel. Once we kind of woken those limbs up, let's imagine our feet, our bodies, but mostly our feet and arches are in a big deep pile of mud. So right now what we're going to do is just actively change the weight. Remember to keep your breath. Change the weight from right to left, as if you're pushing down into a pile of mud and you're really exfoliating the bottoms of your feet, right? There's a lot of tension that we hold in our feet. If you're one of those people that fly or travel and your feet get swollen, this is a good exercise for you, just to allow the blood flow in the ankles and the bottoms of the feet. Right now I'm just going right to left, to right to left, and I'm actively pushing my feet, the metatarsals, into the ground, as if, right, we were gently going in this big pile of mud. And play a little bit with how that makes your body sway naturally, right? For me, I feel a sense of the hips moving a bit. I feel a sense of my neck kind of just reacting. The belly's released, we're finding our breath. If you want, maybe you can lift the arms up or just find shapes in the space while you're doing this. Awaken the shoulder blades. Kind of stretch the fingertips. But we're still swaying side to side with some tension, right? We're pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing downward. We should feel the ankle, the ankle should be definitely getting some sense of awakenness. And we can use this time too to kind of roll with our ankles, right? Instead of just pushing down, we can push away and kind of roll those ankles outside, inside, right? We can roll the outside of our ankles and then we can do the reverse and roll from outside in. And here we're just really kind of finding new ways to stretch our feet actively, right? So we still have this sense of like pushing into mud. There's a sense of resistance. Maybe there's a sensation of cold underneath your feet, but try to find different ways, right? So we've been pushing metatarsals first, but what happens if you do heel first? Heel to foot, heel to foot, heel to metatarsal. And play around with how turned out your feet are, right? Maybe your feet feel really good when they're turned in, or maybe you feel an extra stretch. Try turning in your feet a few times, continuing that breath. And then slowly, as you're transitioning, turn out. Slowly turn out. And now we're really turned out here. And let's do the same thing, but going back in. So we're turned out. And we're just finding different ways to awaken the feet, the ankles, the bottom of the feet. It's a little sense of cardio. I'm moving. I haven't stopped moving for the past, 5 minutes. So I'm feeling like my chest and belly and shoulders are kind of warming up. Awesome. And once we find a good place where we feel like we've activated the bottoms of our feet, let's go ahead and kind of roll the foot one last time over, like you're stretching though, actively stretching. Just find different ways, whether it be stretching the back of your foot by like kind of pushing away in a tippy toe or folding over in a pointy. Just try to get all the different sides of your foot and ankle, places that you've never necessarily stretched before. Awesome. And like, for example, I feel as I roll over the top of my left foot, I'm feeling this pinching sensation in my left rib. So I'm going to notice that connection, and I'm just going to allow the subconscious to digest that information for me. Awesome. So we've kind of woken up our hips and feet. We've released some tension. Now we can find kind of a neutral place and continue that idea of focusing and allowing gravity to take over. So we can find a parallel position where your hips are the same width as where your feet are the same width as your hips. And just kind of find your ideal alignment. We have our breath, right? So we still have the jars open on the top of our head. But really think, if you've ever played with those like dolls that fall apart, but they're magnetic and they only align perfectly when they're magnetized, when they're aligned perfectly. Think of it like that. Like when we're out of alignment, there's all this space and opportunity for shape. But then if we find a good alignment, weight over the heels, weight over the hips, the pelvis, aligning the neck over the spine, opening that jar, we get this sense of verticality without effort. That's the key, right? So we're just naturally in a vertical line in our body's natural vertical sense of vertical. But we're not doing anything, right? We're just letting gravity allow our bones and muscles to kind of settle. Awesome. And here, let's take 3 breaths and really try to pay attention to like where your body is right now. Where is it that it finds its verticality? And try to remind yourself of this feeling. You can take your fingertips and kind of tap the top of your head, activate the fascia, activate the muscle memory. And now I'm just like tapping my body to kind of remind it of where it is, right? So I'm tapping the forehead, tapping the top of the head. I'm going down the face into the jaw. We can make a sound if we want. Getting the nose, getting the eyelids. All right, we're going to all these places that we had this sense of release, and now we're just like by tapping, we're telling our bodies, like, remember this place. Remember this place, remember this alignment, right? Tapping the chest, tapping the belly, tap the arms, activate the fingertips, tap your butt, tap the side of your hips, tap the legs, tap the ankles. Awesome. And now let's just kind of roll back up. If you weren't up already, let's take a few roll downs. So we found a sense of alignment, and now we're going to work through and move through it. So as if you're peeling tape off of a piece of paper, or if you are well acquainted with your anatomy, we're just going to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. We start with the top of the head. If you want, you can even put your hand on top of your head to help find that gentle alignment. We're not adding any additional energy or force. We're just following the road of our body, keeping the jaw released, keeping those areas that we worked on released, and just roll down. And also pay attention to where the roll down hurts, if it does. For me, it's definitely the lower back, into the buttocks. As I get closer down to the ground, I feel it in my hamstrings. I also feel it behind my neck. If you need to, do a little plie, soften up, realign, continue your roll down. Oof, a morning roll down. Such a good thing, but definitely painful. So once we get all the way down, we just kind of chill there for a few. And remind yourself to keep your breath. Plie if you need to, bend your knees if you need to, kind of just soften up the tension. And really I want to make sure that with this roll down, our weight is over our metatarsals. So if we think about having the weight in our heels, our weight might be back a little, but we really want to get forward. We want to feel that verticality, right, between our heels, our knees, our hips. So if you want to, you can even use your hands to kind of push forward a little bit, just so you can go past vertical, but you definitely don't want to go back. That's where misalignment happens. So we're really forward here on this roll down. We're going to do the roll down one more time, so let's reverse and roll up. And as you roll up, you want to keep that verticality. You don't want the weight to go back. It's quite challenging, actually, especially if you haven't done it before. You might need to engage a little bit in your hamstrings. Awesome. Let's roll back down. The goal here is to roll completely down as we keep the weight over the center of our foot. Don't allow the weight to go back. If anything, go extra forward. And as you find the bottom of that space, allow yourself to relax where you hold tension, right? I was just holding tension in my quads and in my lower back, but we're gonna release that. Even put hands in places that you feel like need some release, just to awaken that area. Plie or bend your knees if you want. Go as far down as you can. Release the neck. Release any excess tension. Continue the breath. Push back up. Awesome. And roll back up. Cool. So now we kind of awoken the spine. We've activated most of our body. I think we're going to keep this sense of twisting that we have just kind of woken up the body parts that are for twisting, but If we go back to our wide second, our wide legs, our hips, our feet that are hip or wider than hip distance apart, notice how you feel, if there's any changes in your body. If you feel any sense of release or activation or awakening. All right, so for the last few minutes, we'll just do some twists, active twists. So we have our feet wider than our hips in a natural turnout, not too turned out, not too turned in. We're releasing our butt and pelvis. Let's raise the arms up to a kind of shoulder height. So you're almost in like a T, right? Your right and your left arms are out horizontally, parallel to the floor, same height as the shoulders. And really quickly while we're here, let's try to find some more space, right? And more space in between our shoulder blades, more space in between our elbows, reach those finger points out. There should be a sense of stretch here just from this active sense of pulling. That chest, that idea of chest lifting to the sky can really work here. We're stretching outward, right? And once we find that sense of tension, there should be, if you haven't found it yet, continue reaching outwards. Continue thinking that your body and limbs extend infinitely outwards. Now, what we're gonna do is engage our abs and twist to the right. As we're twisting, we're keeping our hips facing the direction that they were originally, which is forward. We're gonna twist as far over to the right as we can. And once we can't go any further, we'll go back to neutral. And then we'll go to the left. Continue the breath, keep the hips forward, twist, twist, twist. Awesome. Since we did start a few minutes late, we'll probably end at like 10:03, so just know that for yourself. Twist, twist, twist. At this point, maybe because I don't have air conditioning up here, but I am sweating, so you should at least feel some kind of warmth. Twist, twist, twist. Awesome. Let's do that 2 more times on each side. Don't allow any tension to build, right? Our abs are activated, and that's about it. Our heels are grounded, and that's about it. Awesome. 1 more time to each side. Oof, cool. Let's come to a more narrow position, and now we're gonna just quickly and gently twist our bodies, right? So the goal here is still the same. We keep our pelvis facing one direction. We don't allow it to sway the hips anywhere. We're just activating our core, and I'm finding a soft parallel leg position, but essentially right now I'm just twisting as if you're wringing out cold clothes that came out of the washer, right? Twist to each direction gently. Just see how far your body goes. Put your hands on your belly if that helps you. But just twist, 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 twist. Keep the breath, keep the release, keep the softness, and twist. Yes. We'll do this for another 30 seconds. And we'll close with this last exercise. I'll do another roll down at the very end, but in terms of creative exercises, right, we're gonna take this sense of quick twisting and let's find it into movement, right? Let's find some flows, right? So we're twisting and twisting. Can we lead that twist into some bigger movement? That sense of twisting. Long twist, short twists, fast twists, slow twists. But just take the next minute to find as if you were at the club, just like a groove involving twisting. So we really just want to activate that sense of detox, right? We can lift the feet if we want, but the goal here is to be in a constant state of twist, right? And if it's not our bellies, it could be our shoulders, right? We can twist our shoulders, we can twist our heads and neck. Just find a flow. If you like that visualization about the mud, twist in mud. And we're gonna do this for another minute, but really allow yourself to get free. If you even can, like get a little crazy, make a little sweat happen. We're twisting here. Awesome. Let's do this for another 30 seconds. Activate your eyes, scan the room. If you're in a space with people, notice them if you haven't already. Awesome. And as we're doing our largest movements, right? Let's find a smaller vibe as we get back to our neutral stance, as if we're kind of marching in place, allowing those hips and core to just groove and twist. Come slowly into your parallel position. Find your breath again. Let's lift up to a releve or to a tippy toe. Actively and then actively come back down. One more time. Make sure that jaws release, come back down. We'll do our last roll down for the day. Oof. Bend the knees, come all the way down if you want. Put weight into the hands. Unroll, come back up. One more breath all together. Inhale for 6. Exhale for 6. Thank you for joining me today for finding movement and meditation. I hope that today's session was able to kind of awaken some of those neglected parts of our body, that we have a little more sense of energy throughout the day, that we feel like we did some movement and so we feel a little stretched and maybe even sweaty. Go ahead and finish that glass of water if you haven't already. And if you didn't drink water in the beginning of class, definitely drink a glass now. Thank you for your time and energy, and I'll be here again next Tuesday, same time, 9:30 to 10. Thank you.